In my last video where I gave my thoughts on the Madden 22 beta, I mentioned that blitzes seem to come in a lot better and a lot more than in previous years, which I personally think will add to a lot more fun and diversity and more strategy in online head-to-head games. Now, it may add to some chaos and some frustrations trying to block some of these what seems like unblockable blitzes, but I think a healthy zone blitz game is, again, I think sorely needed in this game, so you don't end up with max blitz or max coverage every game because everything in between, like 5-man pressures, just wasn't viable or useful before. Now, I'm not sure if this change was intentional because from what it seems like, this is also the case in Madden 21 Next Gen. So that leads me to believe that the new player movement is what's opening up these new rush lanes. So if you are currently playing Next Gen Madden 21 or you just want to be prepared with a day one solid blitz for Madden 22, this will be useful to you. The formation is nickel 3-3-5 odd, and the play is Sam Mike 1, or in this case, Sam Mike 3 press. They're kind of the same thing, except one's man coverage and one's zone coverage, matching coverage, but obviously, you can change that up to just spot drop if you want. And that's what I'll be using in this video, just for the purposes of demonstration. Now, it looks like the old generation looping blitz from the outside linebacker in 3-3-5 odd is gone, just from what I can see, but maybe I'm wrong. But I think this blitz is really just as good. So we'll go ahead and go Sam Mike 3 press and just against gun bunch for now. Now, before we show the blitz, we'll just quickly go over the structure of the defense here. So it's a press look too high, but it's a cover 3 shell with your 3 deep zones, your 2 flat zones, and then your 3 rec right in the middle right here. And what you have is you have your kind of 3-3-5 odd front, or what you may hear called a mint front. So you have your nose tackle, you have your 4-eye defensive ends, and then you have your jack linebacker coming from the edge right here. And then for this pressure, what's really, really nice about it is that the will is in on the blitz. And why I think that's nice is because no matter what formation you're coming up against, he is going to be pretty much in the same spot, ready to blitz, right? You don't have to move anybody around. You don't have to do any crazy adjustments. He's already there and consistently there. So not only is it easy for you to make the adjustments, but it's also not super obvious that you're bringing the pressure, right? This is a very good pressure, but this isn't something you want to run all the time, just with anything else. So when you bring it in on 3rd down, 4th down, what have you, it's not so obvious, which is really, really nice. Now, there's a few adjustments that I like to make and that we can make and play around with. But to be honest, there are situations where you can just run this blitz and it can actually come in. So just running it stock can work. It doesn't work all the time, but it can work. So we'll see what happens right here. The wheel comes around. This time he got picked up. So it's kind of 50-50. But right away, what we can do to make things better, from what I see, just containing your ends already makes things better. So if I run this, I think I'll have a much better chance of coming around. So you see he takes that really wide angle and it's hard for the guard to pick him up. Now that's all well and good, but there are 2 different versions that I prefer to run this out of. One of those is I'll simply just pinch the defensive line. So those will go, the defensive ends will go from kind of a 4-eye to more of a 3. So now you have, your nose tackle, and then you have 2 defensive ends in the B gaps. So what's good about this is that you are much better against the run, in my opinion. So, you're clogging those lanes, making it hard for running backs to find lanes in their inside zone schemes, which people really like to run. Plus, it moves this jack a little bit further out, which is good for containing the quarterback and gives a little bit of a better window for the linebacker to come through on the blitz right here. So we'll go ahead and contain again, and we'll run that, and we should get a nice wide looping angle and come in nicely for that blitz. So really simple stuff. It's really just a matter of pinching your line and containing, and then just leaving this guy to do his thing. You'll obviously probably want to use a 3 rec, but if you want, you can just do some other things. You can be on the middle third right here, just to be a little bit more aggressive underneath and to help out underneath, so you don't have any quick passes coming out, so the pressure can come in. Or you can run the cover 1 version, so you have tight coverage plus the pressure. One thing I like to do actually other than just pinching the line, is shifting the line away from the jack. So the jack is this guy all the way over here. And what that means is that now you have pretty much an underfront, right? You have a 3-tech here, a 1-tech right here, and then you have your 2 ends right here. What I like about this, so this is less so for running situations and more so for clear passing situations. Why it's good for a passing situation is that now this guy is further out, so he's less likely to kind of get a double team or something like that, or pinned inside, and so the quarterback can scramble easily to the outside. So this way he gets a nice outside leverage on that tackle, and so he'll be much more effective in the contain game. Or if you're running things like say if I go back to Tampa 2, if I'm running some regular coverage and I'm not running the blitz, this here gives me the same look, and it gives me 2 nice edge rushers right here, right? So it's pretty much the same look, other than the fact that the corner is a little bit off here, but it's different. I'm not running the blitz, I'm running the coverage here, and your opponent would be none the wiser. So we'll go ahead and reset that, and of course guys get all sorts of out of place, so we'll just go ahead and reset the play. So what I wanted to show there is, again, slide away from the jack, and now you have an underfront, and I think this is actually probably the best alignment to guarantee that pressure coming in. You see even the center tries to come around this time, and he's not able to pick him up. Okay, let's get back to it here, and let's go to the underfront setup. So just shift the defensive line and contain. You're already set up, so that's nice. Now, what's nice here is if they're doing things like IDing the proper guy, which he's usually auto set to the ID there, and then maybe sliding left to try to pick that up. If they're not blocking the back, there's just really nothing they can do. So they really need to involve the back or a tight end. So as far as I'm aware, there is no way to pick up this blitz without blocking extra men. So doing any sort of sliding or IDing or anything like that doesn't seem to help out. But, if you block the running back, which is good, really simple adjustment that people can do. If they block the running back, you'll see that he'll pick him up really easily. Sometimes actually he misses him, but in that case, he's able to cut him late. But in situations where you're playing opponents that like to release their backs and you're not spamming this blitz, I think it's going to be really, really good for you. And then on top of that, you don't have to rush all 5 guys. I think you can drop this guy in, and if you want to be greedy, I think you can even spy this guy or even drop him in a hook or something like that, and it should still work out, I believe. You see you get that wide rush angle, and he comes in completely free. So that's really it. A really simple setup, really simple blitz. Of course, the formation isn't so popular throughout the playbooks, but obviously it's really easy to get if you're playing any sort of game mode. I love that it's simple to set up. I like that it's disguisable. I like that it's consistent. Really, really good blitz. Maybe throughout the year things will change and you won't be able to run it, but as a day 1 blitz, or if you're still playing Madden 21 Next Gen, it will be really, really good for you. Now, I want to end this off with just a few random plays here, random formations, just to show you that it's not exclusive to, say, Gun Bunch. And even situations where you have auto flip on and it turns out that you're running the blitz from the right, it's still going to work out nicely for you. That's why I like this. It is easily adaptable, and your guy is always going to be in the right position. You don't have to move anybody around. So in this case, we'll just go ahead and slide away from the jack, contain, and we'll see how it comes in right here. I think it's a little bit tighter from the right, but it still usually comes in. Again, we're set up here on the right, slide away from the jack, contain, in this case, around the guard and in on the quarterback. This time on the left, we can go ahead and pinch the line. We don't always have to slide away to create the underfront. We can mix it up a little bit. Actually, in this case, if it was empty, I probably wouldn't do this. I'd probably go the other way, but just to show you, again, nicely looping around the guard. Okay, just one more at the end right here with a trips look. We'll go again to an underfront, contain these guys. Here we have 4 verticals. This guy might be able to pick up the blitzing linebacker. We'll see how it goes. Yeah, so the check and release is actually nice there. That's surprisingly good. But really, if the back isn't in on the block, it's really just too much for the offensive line to handle on their own. And that's really all I wanted to show. Really simple blitz, really useful blitz. Leave a like if you still appreciate these comments throughout the bitter end of Madden 21. If you are interested in more content, I'm still doing extra in-depth detailed videos every 2 weeks on the members only channel. I know the button to join doesn't show up on iOS, which a lot of people love to watch these videos on, but if you go on your browser, you should see a little join button underneath the videos. If you click on that, you'll see already a lot of videos to dive deep into, plus every 2 weeks, including one coming up this week on how to attack cover 4 quarters just using hot routes is going to be available to you. And then of course, once Madden 22 comes in, we will be going hard on both fronts, members only and the public videos, because even though the gameplay is kind of samey, there's still a ton of excitement and a ton of things to dive into at the beginning of any Madden year. Anyway, that's it for this one, and I'll see you guys in the next one.